What is up guys, welcome back to the channel, and finally the Poco F3 has arrived. I've been waiting for this for quite some time, about 2 weeks since I did order this, and finally after so long of waiting, finally I have the Poco F3. So what are we going to do today? We are going to of course unbox this, going to show you the contents over here because it is a big chunky box. And as you can see here, we have the Poco X3 Pro, which we are going to do a lot of videos together. And also we are going to check out the key specs and features of this new flagship killer over here. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So I gotta say, the box does look pretty cool, and again in a similar typical fashion, very similar to all your Poco phones, black and yellow, black and yellow. So Poco F3 over here, let's unbox this bad boy. Over here you have your welcome to the Poco family, again very similar to your OnePlus phones. If you guys have been using OnePlus phones, they've been doing this kind of stuff and now they're following this trend. So yes, again, let's just take this one out. Here I would assume would be all your stickers, manual books, and also your phone case. So this is the phone case, a clear case I would say, which is better. I think the X3 Pro and the Redmi Note 10 Pro had that matte finish to it. This one is a more of a clear case. You also have this thing over here which can close up your USB-C in case any water that may go in, it'll be protected by this case over here, the bottom over here. Yeah, it's flimsy, it's free, but I got nothing else to complain about this. So here we have the USB-A to USB-C cable, and also we do have a 33-watt brick charger over here for your fast charging. They call it the turbo charge if I'm not wrong. So yes, this of course is a welcome addition. And also on the side here, you do have some free stuff, which no, you don't have anything here. Let's check out this side. Oh, that's all you get. So I actually did find out that they are giving you some free stuff over here. You do have a dongle, a USB-C to audio jack dongle, so I'm assuming there is no headphone jack that comes with this phone. So here is the Poco F3, and I got to say it looks, wow, it looks really nice. I'm so excited to actually peel this off and let's just admire this. I think the design is really good. The weight to it is not too bad, I would say. Compared to the X3 Pro, the X3 Pro is just slightly heavier, and what I love about it is the white color on the back. Does look really good. And let's just peel this off. So silence over here, let's just peel this one off. So there we have it. This is the Poco F3, looking really good. So let me just set this up, play around in a little bit, and I will see you guys in a bit. So here is the phone. This is the Poco F3 White Edition, the Arctic White, and you can actually get the Arctic Black as well online. But I decided to go for the White Edition, and you know what, no regrets at all. I really do like the design a lot. It's very premium and it does give that minimalistic look. It does have that pearl white feel to it, a bit frosted on the back. And what I like about this compared to the many phones that we have recently unboxed, like the Redmi Note 10 Pro, the Xiaomi Mi 11 Lite, and the Poco X3 Pro, is the fact that this one here, as you can see, if I'm trying just to smudge the back over here, on multiple angles, you're not going to see a lot of fingerprint smudges compared to those fingerprint magnet phones on the back. So yes, very nice premium build to it, and yes, Gorilla Glass 5 on the back and on the front as well. So one thing to note is that this phone, you can actually get it for about 1,399 ringgit, which is above the 350 bucks. But I did get this during the launch sale for about 1,299 ringgit, and you can actually go up to the highest spec model for 1,699 ringgit. During the sales, you can get it for about 1,499. So yes, if you are patient enough, you can actually wait for those sales and you can get it for cheaper. It's already happened about twice already since it was launched. So yes, I think with many more months to come, more sales will come for the Poco F3. So in terms of build and design, I gotta say I really do like it. And on the front here, it's a flat display, which of course does come with your always on display. Nice display, I would say, but one thing I got to nitpick here is the fact that you do get a bit of some bezels on the sides, especially on the bottom here. It's not the most, I would say, but yes, overall it does have some bezels. But I think when it comes to gaming, it's going to be not much of a problem, seeing that most people will be holding your phone like this. So yes, it does prevent some touches on the sides. So yes, this display here does come with an AMOLED display. They call this the E4 AMOLED display, so it does help with a bit of some power consumption. And what I got to say about this is the display is really good. I've been using the Poco X3 Pro for quite some time already, and that one was using the LCD display, and going back to an AMOLED display is always an upgrade. The difference is just night and day. Colors will look more punchy, more natural, and just overall better quality. If you have seen an LCD display and an AMOLED display side by side, you will notice the difference. And over here in the typical 2021 fashion, you will get your 120Hz refresh rate. Something of course is really good. And over here as well, you do have a 360Hz touch sampling rate. So yes, when it comes to gaming, or when it comes to a lot of your just going around to your social media, just tapping around this phone, it's going to be very fast, very responsive, very snappy as well. So right off the box, it only comes at 60Hz, but once you activate that 120Hz, it's very buttery smooth, very fluid, very fast, very snappy as you would expect. So one thing to note is that this display does support up to HDR10+ and does have a peak brightness of about 1300 nits. So right now we're going to check out some photos in the gallery, and I downloaded some nice HD photos I'm going to show you on this display. And what I got to say is that I've seen these photos on many flagship phones, and I got to say it does look really good over here on the Poco F3. Colors are pretty similar, I would say, to flagship phones like your S21s. I don't have the S21 here with me right now, but I can say the colors are pretty accurate, pretty sharp, deep blacks, and just overall a nice punchy color. Of course, do let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about these shots over here and how are the colors reproduced in this video. So this phone right here is being powered by the Snapdragon 870, the first of its kind, and it's first seen over here with the Poco F3, similar to the X3 Pro with the Snapdragon 860. This one is more similar to the 865 Plus edition. So yes, and it does support up to 5G. So yes, in terms of future proofing, this chipset over here does have your 5G. Yes, it's not the 888, but overall 870 is still a very good flagship chipset. Of course, we're going to do some gaming tests, some performance tests, comparisons. So yes, do click that like and smash the subscribe button to keep up with this channel. Also in this phone, you do have 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of UFS 3.1 storage. You can of course bump it up all the way to 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. So going on to the bottom part of the phone, you do have your USB-C for your fast charging, and something to keep in mind is that this phone is pretty slim, I would say, compared to the X3 Pro. Pretty similar to the Redmi Note 10 Pro and also the Xiaomi Mi 11 Lite. And over here you do have a decent sized battery, 4520 milliamps of battery. So in terms of just everyday usage, I think the battery is going to be more than enough. Well, on the bottom as well, you do have a slot for your SIM card, but sadly here we do not have any slot for your micro SD expansion. Over on the right side here, you do have your stereo speaker, one on the bottom and also on the top as well. It's pretty cool and pretty interesting seeing that people will be holding their phone like this, so they might be blocking the stereo speakers. So I would advise you maybe try to put your hand a bit lower and try to avoid the stereo speakers here. But it does have one on the top and one on the bottom, so if you're covering one, you still have one more on the top over here. So what I'm going to do now is just test out the sound quality, and this is how it sounds. Alright, so it's very decent in terms of speakers, not the loudest I would say, but bass and clarity is pretty alright with these speakers over here. And yeah, do let me know how the speakers are sounding in your ears. Right, so one more thing to note is that this phone does come out with MIUI 12 right off the box. So yes, you do have a lot of features. Well, you have your always on display, which I have tested on this, and it actually is always on. So yes, it does not disappear after 10 seconds. And I do like certain features like the quick ball gesture. You do have your, like I said, always on display, 120Hz display. You have your dark mode as well, and you have your double apps or something like this, which is in the special feature, this second space. So basically, I mentioned this in my Redmi Note 10 Pro video. Basically, you can put another fingerprint here and it will unlock another page, another user account for this. So if you're using this for like a work or some social, you can actually use like maybe 2 accounts for one single phone, which of course is a really cool thing. MIUI 12 is pretty decent, and you do have your Poco launcher that comes with this phone. It does give it more of a simplistic view. It does give it a more of a stock Android feel to your phone, pretty similar to what OnePlus have been doing over the past few years. So yes, MIUI 12 is on this phone. And lastly, let's talk about those cameras. So over here you have a 20 megapixel selfie shooter, which can shoot up all the way to 1080p at 30 fps. Pretty decent, not the best I would say, but yeah, it does get the job done. When you move on to the back, you do have a triple camera setup. So you do have your main lens over here, 48 megapixel, which of course is pretty decent I would say, f1.8, and also you do have your ultra wide 8 megapixel f2.2 with a 119 degrees field of view, so pretty decent as well. And of course you have your third useless lens over here, a 5 megapixel f2.0 macro shooter. So yes, overall I would say it's just more of a dual camera setup. The third camera doesn't really work that well. So let's just test out the camera by taking a few shots. I'm gonna put this thing over here and just use its main lens. Go on to the ultra wide and let's just try some zoom on this. So looking at the photos, details are pretty decent I would say. Let's try out that macro just to see how that one goes. I don't think it's any good I would say. And just moving on to this, the telephoto is pretty decent, pretty grainy as you would. Ultra wide, it does look alright. You have some distortion on the bottom, and your main lens, yeah, that's what you're gonna get. Alright, of course the lighting condition isn't the best, but overall pretty decent shots I would say. If you guys want a camera comparison, maybe with this against like the S21 Ultra or the X3 Pro, do leave a comment down below. So that is it. This is the unboxing, first-hand experience, and yes, everything you need to know about the Poco F3. If you guys find this helpful, do click the like and smash the subscribe button down below for more videos like this in the future, as I'll be doing tons of videos with the Poco F3. Do also follow me on my social as well, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and also here on YouTube at Dr. Hummus Tech. So that is it. This is Dr. Hummus Tech. Stay safe, take care, and wash those hands.